Hey guys, welcome back to a new draft league, different kind of video. If I seem a little frazzled or um, off put, I guess, it's because I just basically recorded this video and my mic was on mute. So we're doing it again. We're doing it again, which is fine. So let's just run it back real quick. Basically, as you can see from the thumbnail, GBA Fan Tournament. This is the new draft league we entered in. Super exciting stuff. It's a best of one format. It has all your spicy OU banned mons, so Annihilate, Palafin, Espartula, stuff like this. Best of one, like we said. It's pretty simple. It is divided into rounds and like pools and stuff. So like we had a draft pool, now we have our battle pool, and then if we beat this battle pool, we'll go into another one, which is like right. So it's kind of like a layered round thing. Don't worry about that. Shouldn't have a big deal on, I guess, the viewing experience. There will be duplicate mons. So like if we have Dragonite, the enemy team could have Dragonite later down the line because we are drafting from different pools. So there could be multiple mons. So that should be interesting to see as well. And with that being said, let's try to recap our draft with our mic on as I'm staring at OBS. So hopefully y'all can see that, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so our first round pick was Garganacl. I did make a slight mistake while drafting, just a little bit, or a super big mistake. I misread and misunderstood the drafting chart or whatever, like the Google sheet, because they have other band mons like Zamazentas and Chian-Pao, not Chi-Yu. Mons like this on the right of the draft. On the draft fin on the spreadsheet, while all the other mons are on the other side, like obviously available to draft. And so when I was drafting, when I looked at the draft pool, the pick pool, I didn't pay close attention to that side of the sheet because I was not obviously going to draft Zamazentas and Chian-Pao and Hoopa Unbound and all this stuff, right? So I assumed things like Chian-Pao, Annihilate, Chi-Yu, Espartula, Palafin, like these mons would just be banned, right? I mean, obviously it's not unreasonable for them not to be banned. That's kind of what I thought because we've been playing the PBO where a lot of these mons are banned. So that one's on me. So with a slight mistake, a little hiccup situation, we drafted Garganacl. Very cool. And this one's pretty good. Pretty cool, I think. Anyway, I'm returned. And we're not going to edit that out because editing is whack. And I'm lazy, so suffer, I guess. But yeah, we drafted Garganacl. I think Garganacl's pretty good mon. Like a really good mon because it's open Terra, which hopefully I mentioned before. It's open Terra, so my Garganacl could be Ghost, it can be Water, it can be Fairy, it can be Dragon, it can be whatever I want it to be, which is super awesome. So with our hiccup of drafting not an uber broken mon, I think we drafted a mon that's okay because it helps us deal with those kinds of mons. But I think Garganacl is really good because this mon can has good coverage, right? It has ice coverage. Oh, you guys can't see that. Okay, so it has all the punches, right? For example, punches. I can't spell if I want to be embarrassed. It has all the punches. It has avalanche. It has earthquake. Right. Obviously, we have like curse, iron defense. Like this mon can set up and sweep. This mon can just be rocks. Well, that's rock blast, but you know, like rock up with rock blast. Has stealth rock, right? Has obviously recover. Like it's really good like this. So I think this mon has pretty good coverage. Heavy slam. Sorry, you guys can't see that. Heavy slam, Hammer Arm and Heavy Slam and all these mons. So all these moves. So I think that's pretty good. I think it has some interesting move coverage. Yes, Covert Cloak is obviously illegal and everyone's gonna use Covert Cloak against me. I get that, but I also think like if you run Covert Cloak on 2 or 3 mons or something like this to stop my one guy, like you're playing the game without items. You know what I mean? There's no leftovers on your water type. There's no Rocky Helmet on your Corv. There's no boots or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is something that we can try to use it and benefit from. Like, great, my Salt Cure, my base 40 move is not doing 1/8 every turn. What happens if I just don't win Salt Cure? Psh, crazy mode, like, but I'm just gonna rock up a Stone Edge or something and kill you. Okay, maybe not, but like, maybe. I believe. Like, I think this mon is super versatile, has a lot of options, can be physically defensive, can be specially defensive. It's pretty good. So yeah, pretty happy with Garganacl. I have no idea what I'm going to nickname this guy. As you can see, my guy, Agency Donphan True. It's good stuff. Okay, a second round pick, so like 20 plus picks later, we got Golden Go. Insane concept that I got Golden Go. It's like the best spin blocker. It blocks defog. It has so many good things. Again, it can be specs, it can be scuffed, it can be boots, it can be leftovers, it can be Covert Cloak, it can be whatever I want. Like, this one is very versatile, which I can respect. Very heinous, very heinous. And it has pretty good coverage, right? We see Dazzling Gleam here, Ghost coverage. We have Power Gem, Make It Rain's a crazy one. Right, Psychic coverage here as well. Thunderbolt, like, it has some decent coverage, has some decent support moves, like we see Memento. I've seen screens used in other leagues before. Recovers, obviously very good. Trick, Thunderwave, like, okay, like, we're cooking, you know? Like, I feel like this is not bad coverage. Good offensive pool, good acceptable support move options as well. Very good ability, like we said, and has a crazy good typing. I mean, it has 133 special attack. That's crazy. Really good typing, pretty good bulk with its typing. It's pretty tanky. It's very good. So yeah, with that, I'm pretty happy with our second round pick, considering like how good this mon is, right? It's like probably one of the best Gen 9 mons released, I think. Probably is. And so with that, we come to our third pick, and our third pick, I was like, oh, like, I want something to get rid of hazards, because that is very, very hard to come by. And this generation 9 is really hard to get a rapid spinner, right? We have the Great Tusks and the Iron Treads, basically, like, for example, and that's kind of it. Like, not really, but kind of. Same with Defoggers, right? You have Corviknight, that's it, right? Like, there's not a lot of good Defoggers or spinners or something, right? Like, so I wanted one of those, and I also wanted the Dragon type, because I think Dragon types are very good in draft format. And I'd be remiss if I said that I haven't just completely tore up draft leagues before Dragon types like Baxcalibur in the PBO. So I was like, okay, like, we need a Dragon type. And so I picked Noivern, because Noivern was obviously lower on the points, so that was okay. It gives us a crazy good speed tier, right? This guy hits, I believe it's 375. Okay, thanks, man. Whatever. What? Sorry, 379. Well, off by 4 points. A little embarrassing. Right, hits 379. It's like a pretty okay typing defensively. Has some pretty crucial resistances. For example, 85, 80, and 80 is not bad, considering that there will almost always be some kind of bulk investment in this guy, because his speed is so high that you will just have leftover EVs. It has some pretty good support moves. So it gets Defog, it gets Roost, it gets U-turn, it gets what does it get? Gets Taunt, it gets Super Fang. Yeah, so overall, like, it has some good support moves. Whirlwind, stuff like this. With that being said, if I wanted to, I could just obviously run Specs or offensive with Hurricane and Draco Meteor and Boom Burst, these crazy strong base power moves, and try to break. And I think that also pairs pretty well with stuff like Golden and Garganacl, something that is a little more mid-rangey, where they're gonna get some, chip damage, right? Whether that's 30% or 40% here and there, put rocks up. Oh, or like you take a little bit more here as well. And then like Noivern maybe can come in and clean, or maybe Noivern's defensive this game and can actually provide utility for Golden to clean, or Garganacl to set up or something. You know what I mean? Like I feel like with all these the first 3 flexible mons, they can do a lot of roles, and so as long as everything kind of aligns well and they kind of mesh together, I feel like we can do well. And finally on Noivern, this thing has good abilities, like straight up good abilities. Frisk, like, it's really insane ability in draft format. Just finding out, like, oh, like, are you a berry? Are you sashed? Are you choice? Like, what are you? Is very cool. It's very helpful, because this is a best of 1. This is not best of 3 like the BBO, so we cannot just like we can't just like, oh, take the L game 1 and then like bounce back and win. No, we have to we have to get as much information as we can in the first game and use all that information in real time. So we just want to maximize our information. And then the second one is Infiltrator. Infiltrator obviously very good against substitute mons, which people might try to bring against Garganacl, for example, right? Because that's all cure. So I think Infiltrator is very good. I think the fact that we can get rid of screens through defog with this guy and just break through screens is also very good. So stuff like that's very cool. Like, it's very good, right? If I'm playing, let's say I'm playing an offensive one, and I'm scared about like sub Dragapult or something, I don't know, I can just nuke it or something. Like, I think that's very strong. So yeah, I think Noivern here is super cool. I'm pretty excited to use it. I've used it before many years ago, and it did pretty well, and so I'm hoping that I can recreate that success here. Moving into 4, pick 4, which is actually half of our team, because it's only an 8 mon league, sorry, because there's so many games you have to play, because it's basically like a bracket style. They want to make games, they don't want to make prepping games super ridiculous. Moving to our 4th pick, I was like, hey, I need a fucking fairy type, because like people are gonna pick Baxcalibur, people are gonna pick Dragapult, people are gonna pick these crazy things, and yes, Gug can be Terra Fairy, but I don't want Gug to be forced into Terra Fairy. You know what I mean? Also, we've had some incredible success with Wish Passing in the PBO, so I was like, oh, maybe we can like Wish Pass into Gold and go Wish Pass into Garganacl. Like, oh, this is very interesting. So we ended up picking Dachsbun on our 4th pick for a couple reasons. One, I think Dachsbun's stat distribution, I mean, his HP is pretty bad, but his defense is pretty good. Its speed F is acceptable, considering its typing, and it has Wish. It is a Wish passer. It has actually a pretty good speed tier, considering like its role is almost always defensive. It's just a pure fairy type. It's Sylveon typing, Florges typing. It's just pure fairy type. Like, that is pretty good. And I also think this guy has some pretty unique abilities. So Dachsbun, straight up, I don't say straight up walls, but it is more than a soft check to Chi-Yu, for example. Because Chi-Yu hits you with a fire move, you're immune. You resist dark moves, fantastic. So this guy gives me a fire immunity and all the fairy defensive juice that I love, right? So that's awesome. And I think something that's slept on about Dachsbun here is his second ability. His second ability is Aroma Veil, which means it can't be taunted. Like, how crazy is that? Can't be encored, can't be taunted, can't be disabled, which is, I guess, good against Dragapult Curse Body. But you get the idea, right? Like, I have a Wish Passer that can't be taunted. Like, that's insane to think about. So I thought that was really cool. I thought his typing was very good. What's the shiny at Dachsbun? Okay, it doesn't tell me. That's lame. So I think that's really cool. Has a lot of interesting moves as well in this league, but Tom Passing flat is not allowed, is banned, so we can't just dry pass and stuff like that, which is sad. It makes Wish Passing worse. But then that also makes me think like my speed tier becomes better, right? Because I'm not trying to get slow baton passes as much. Okay, So my Dashbon, so I think Dashbon has some unique supportive moves, right? So one would be like a body press, right? Base 115 plus well baked body. Like body press is a pretty okay move for this guy. It has kind of just base 80 moves across the board. Talk about crunch, talk about play rough, right? Psychic Feigns. Psychic Feigns actually I think is cool because it helps us deal with screens, which is neat. It gets roar, so things can't just set up on us, but again, can't be taunted, so I think that's cool. And it gets yawn as well, which is nice. Status spreading, stomping tantrums, interesting if we can force some failed moves. Right, even gets snarled, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but like if it's well baked body plus 2 defense or something, then we have snarl. Like I think it has some unique moves. It has some unique supportive options. I don't think it's bad. Has obviously some offensive coverage as well, but most importantly, it is obviously just our standard. What is that word? Wish. Protect passer. It can run boots. It can run leftovers. It can run whatever I wanted to. I thought as a fairy type, as a low tier fairy type, I thought this was pretty good considering I think defensively, stat wise, is pretty okay with Wish and Protect. So I was pretty excited to use it. Also, it's a mon I've never used before, so I thought I was like, okay, cool, like we'll try to use this, right? I thought it was really cool. I'm a super big fan of trying to use new mons in Draft League and stuff, so I thought this was a good unique choice for a fairy type that obviously wasn't going to be on everyone's radar, like Sylveon, for example, right? Obviously that mon's going to go crazy early, where I thought I could get Dashbon on 4th pick or maybe 5th pick or something, where compared to like my Noivans and Goldengos and Garganacles, like I thought these mons would be stolen, so I was like, okay, I'll go for this later in the lineup. So I'm pretty excited to use Dashbon. Also, it's just fun to say. Like, everybody pause the video right here, take a deep breath, and now they just say Dashbon. You know, it's just fun to say. It's fun to say. It sounds good angry. It sounds good positively. It just sounds good. It's just fun to say. And with that being said, we'll move on to our 5th pick. Our 5th pick may look familiar, but not so much if you get my drift. We're rocking the Qwilfish H, Hisuian Qwilfish. I know I just talked about how Dashbon, we never used it before, we gotta use different kind of mons. I'm super excited for that. In my defense, we've not used this mon before. We used his big bro in the PBO, putting in an incredible amount of work with being defensive or even offensive, honestly, with that one rain matchup we had. So Qwilfish H was super low on the point scale, and I feel like a Violite Qwilfish H is like good. Like I feel like between that plus Intimidate, like I feel like this thing's gonna be tanky. You know what I'm saying? Also, I think I don't actually think you have to run it. Like I think you can run a Violite. I think you can run Black Sludge. Right? Like keep in mind this is basically just normal Qwilfish with a dark typing. Right? So it's not a water type, which I guess feels bad, but happens. So yeah, I think like this mon is basically super budget overquill, which again we've used to pretty good success, and I'm hoping that kind of translates over. One of the main reasons I wanted this mon was because of spikes, like both sets of spikes, because I feel like spikes plus Garganacl is really strong, because basically if your bulky water or your support mon is running boots for Garganacl Sulkia, you it's over. Like I feel like you just come in, you take spikes, and you just keep getting the crap beat out of you on spikes. Like I feel like that's really good synergy. I feel like Haze is also nice. Support move, Destiny Bond's interesting. But obviously we have the same, it's literally just overkill but budget. We can run a Violite X, Intimidate, call it good. Physical attackers are going to struggle to deal with us. That's how I feel about this. I also think Qwilfish H is really strong with the Dashbon, kind of as like a pseudo core. Obviously it covers a lot of Dashbon, one of the Dashbon's weaknesses, but I think Wish passing like this is also very strong. So I think that's really cool. I think that's actually amazing. I think that's really important. I think a lot of my mods benefit from voice passing with Dashbond, so like this is another mod that kind of falls into that category. But yeah, this is for sure kind of excited to use because I mean Overquote did really well for me in the PBO, and so I'm hoping that this is a similar idea. And this is it was a super budget mod. Like as you guys know from my PBO content, like I am a low pick connoisseur. Like I think NFEs and stuff are pretty good. You just have to find the right ones, and then they're really good, right? And I think this falls into that category of something that is a very good NFE. But I do think it'll be more supportive orientated compared to something like Overquell, where I think Overquell, you know, rocking the 115 attack is much easier to use offensively. But I don't think it's super doomed to use this offensively because I've seen normal Qwilfish rock up in rain and like do stuff. Obviously there's like stab and water moves and all that stuff, but whatever. I have a dream, okay? If I want offensive Qwilfish H, I'll build a offensive Qwilfish H team, okay? Deal with that. But I think supportive-wise and defensively, it's very good. I think we're kind of racking a lot of passive damage, which I think is pretty beneficial for like Golden Go and Garganacl. So that's 4, 5. This is 6, right? Yeah, this is our 6th pick, and when I was going through it, I was like, wait, I kind of need a water type, because at this point, most water types, Vaporeon, Quagsire, Gastrodon, like a lot of water types are just gone, which is a little disheartening, because like I think bulky waters are incredibly good in draft format. And so I was like, oh, like I need a water type. And at this point I was also like, I have Qwilfish, I have Spikes and Toxic Spikes, like, oh, I don't want, I kind of want a spinner, like, I need a Mon that will help me control hazards more than just Noivern, because again, I don't want Noivern to be my only real hazard control, similar to like the Toadschool situation in the PBO, right? Like, it's cool that I can do it, but I don't want to be like, oh, I can't bring Specs Noivern here because I need Defog, for example. And I think Defog, as good as it is, and as helpful as it is, because it is, I do not want, like, if I get Rocks up with Garganacl and I get Spikes up with Qwilfish, I don't want to Defog all those away, considering I have Golden Go to block the enemy Defog, right? So I was like, oh, I might actually need a spinner. And this is where I was like, oh, like, Tatsugiri is open. I've played against Tatsugiri a couple times in Draft League, and I was like, oh, like, this mon seems interesting. It has a very, I would consider good, but very interesting typing in Water Dragon. It comes with an immunity to water moves because of Storm Drain. It's a spinner, and it has some high base power moves to do things, and I know it has some unique moves. Also, it has base 120 special attack, so combine that with Draco Meteor and Hydro Pump and stuff, like, it hits pretty hard. It has an okay Spit F stat, and again, it's just above 80, so all your base 80s are going to have to run max if you want to outspeed it, which I think has some value. And so when I got looking into this guy, obviously we see Draco. That's Skydrop. That's obviously not what I was looking for. Skydrop Tatsugiri. I just did it again. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, I got it. Right, we see Draco Meteor. We see Hydro Pump. Obviously, I talked about Rapid Spin that I wanted. These were like super good moves. And when I looked at his other moves, I see stuff like Memento. Oh, that's interesting. Nasty Plot. Wow, wait. Nasty Plot into Rapid Spin into like these kind of base power moves is very heinous damage. Sub is cool. It gets Taunt. I think Taunt is super cool because, again, like for all your Alomomolas and for your Vaporeons, and a lot of bulky waters won't be able to touch this. And that's very cool to me. I think that's very cool. It gets Miracle. Okay, that's some utility. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it has some unique stuff going on. It has a counter, I guess, as well. I don't know. Like, I thought it was cool. I do think it's not as good as some other bulky waters, but I think, like, again, super budget pick. It's a spinner. That's the main reason it's here. I thought it could be good. Maybe it's not, and it's complete shit, and we auto lose games. But, like, I think it's not bad. I think it's a budget spinner. I think it is a water type. Gives us a water immunity. You best believe we're never running Commander because we don't play in the Doubles League. Nope. So yeah. Plus, we get to use different types. Oh, you can't see. Let me adjust. We use different types. We can do red. We can do yellow. We can do some crazy stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna run. I don't know what is like my Tatsugiri of choice. I am a sushi enthusiast, so maybe we'll name it after some rolls or something. But I do think it could be. I think it's a very underrated mon, and I think it could be put into good use. So that is 6. Then we get into 7. So our 7th pick was Dunsparce. Because at this point, we're for sure picking super low tier mons. Because I was like, because we're second on the draft pick, the wheel picks and stuff like coming all the way back up through Snake Draft left us with little mons, in my opinion. And I was like, well, Dunsparce is an interesting mon because it's another Eviolite mon. It really is another Violet mon. Knockoff is still not very common in this gen, so that's good for us. Has base 100 HP, which is not bad. And when you start adding a Violite numbers, right, like, you do Calm, Nature, like, you 1.5 times this, right? Like, so we get, like, it's 376. Like, 376 is not bad, no? Thanks for the update, buddy. Obviously, it's Serene Grace, which is not great. But Serene Grace does help with things like Body Slam, right, and Headbutt. So, you know, if my base 45 mana speeds you, you're cooked. So yeah, I think the Eviolite's cool, and I think another cool thing about this mon is it does get Roost, right? Like, I think Roost is super important, and it gets Rocks. So because it gets Rocks, I thought this was like a big pull for me, because it gets Rocks, and with Rocks, that means that my Garganacl does not have to run Rocks every week, which I think is just super important. I think that's super good. It gets Glare as well, so I can just paralyze ground types, I can paralyze everything. I think there's a lot of good mons. It has some unique moves going on. Yawn as well here. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it has some potential. It's just relatively tanky. It's pretty tanky. I think it's Spadef. I think special defensive is pretty okay. Can't run Baton Pass. It does get Coil, so maybe there's some curse action we don't know about. But overall, this basically was I need a rocker. I think the rock is good. It has some sustain with Roost, recovery, and it has some pretty unique moves. So maybe we can find some utility in that. I think it's alright. Worst comes to worst, I should say. We just run Headbutt, Glare, and we perma-flinch them. And we win every game because Jirachi is with us in spirit. So that's what I say. It is what it is. This might be the most useless of the mons that we have, most inefficient pick slot, but happens. I don't think it's that useless though, to be honest. My phone is just going crazy mode. I apologize. But yeah, I don't think it's useless, but I think like it's not actually that bad. I really don't. I think it's okay. You could even do like a 262, add the +1, like it's not awful. 1.5 is pretty good. And with that, it brings us to our final draft pick. And at this point, I was like, hey, we have like a lot of supportive mons. We have a lot of like wish passing and hazards and like overall just support and utility mons. I need a mon similar to Noivern that will just come in and like with all of our setup and all of our conditions that we can implement. I wanted a mon that would just come in and basically claim a kill like instantly, which is a little weird to say because obviously like that's not really how Pokemon is designed, I guess. Like obviously you can just always come in and get a kill, right? That's why Chi-Yu and Chi-Empower banned in OU. But I was like, okay, what's that actually look like? And I wanted to use more unique mons, or mons I haven't used before, used yet. And then I found this mon in the draft list, Lilligant Hisuian. I was pretty excited for this mon when it got leaked and all this stuff, or like in Legends Arceus, I should say. And I was like, damn, like this mon could be it. Also, this one randomly gets defog, so I was like, maybe we just run defog and win the game or something. I don't know, but I was pretty excited with this mon because this mon hits like a truck. Like I've seen some crazy calcs with like +1 hustle boosted ice spinner killing Zapdos and stuff. Like I see some heinous, absolute heinous calcs with this mon. 105 attack is like not bad. It has really good base power moves with like axe kick and close combat. It gets healing wish for some unique choice sets maybe. Ice spinner good coverage. Leaf blade is good. Poison jab's good coverage. It gets synthesis as well. Sleep powder, so it has some offensive utility. And it has its signature move, Victory Dance. Victory Dance is like physical quiver dance. It is attack, defense, and speed by +1. Just raises it. That's really insane move. Its abilities are kind of lackluster, but hustle is hustle. If I hit the hustle, if I hit the 80% move, so Hydro Pump basically, this mon is probably gonna kill you. It does a lot of damage. Like it does a lot of damage. You know, it's reminiscent to Durant, and I used Durant historically way back when in draft leagues as a wall breaker in a sweeper or a cleaner. I should say with choice scarf and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe Lilligant can be good like this as well with hustle. Like just come in, click close combat and get a kill. I was like, psh, sounds pretty good. Also, it just sounds like a very fun one to use. If it's bad, it's bad. Happens. I don't really know what to say. I think this mod is going to be really fun to use. If we miss, then not our fault, because Pokemon is a shit game. True. But if we don't miss, I feel like we're going to do a lot of damage. I feel like we'll be a complete menace to society. If we ever play against a sun matchup, like we just straight up have Chlorophyll. Like that's just a good ability for sun matchups. Leaf Guard, not so much, but maybe we can cook something up with it. We gotta check out Shiny though. Okay, Shiny's like not awful, but I'm a big fan of normal Lilligant. I think that's a very underrated mon. I don't think it's great, but I do think it's underrated. So I think a true competitive version of Lilligant is awesome. It is really cool. So I'm really excited to use Lilligant, Hisuian here to basically come in, claim, get all kinds of kills. I think that'd be really awesome. And with that, that is our GBA fan tournament draft for the Wichita Weavile. We're still repping the Wichita Weavile. I was like, sounds good to me. We got the odds still. I'll try to up the spiciness maybe, or the level of the thumbnails. But yeah, I was like, okay, we'll just rock the Wichita Weavile again. And I think this season will be very fun. It's going to look a lot different than the PPO because it's best of ones, and there's a whole slew of people like from all different skill brackets, very high, maybe low, I don't know, but for sure very high and strong battlers in this league. So I hope that we can prep and perform just as well as we did in the PPO, or maybe even better, so we can get the similar results, because this should be a lot harder to play, I think. Like I think this league is going to be much harder to play. Which is fine. I think that's really good, really educational, really fun. Should be fun to watch as well. And with that being said, I think that's it. I think that is a solid 35-minute video. Yep, that's our draft. I'm pretty excited. I believe our first battle is against Darkrai something. Anyway, the first battle will be done pretty soon, I guess, and I will try to be more consistent with the uploads. So I think for this league, I want to try to upload the team builder on Monday of the week, maybe. I think I'm gonna upload the team builder on the Monday, on basically the Monday after the battle happens, and then the following, I would say Thursday, maybe Monday and Thursday, I guess I'll try to make it the upload schedule. Try to be more consistent. I know I kind of just been willy-nilly with the uploads. I'm just like, oh, I guess I'll do it today. Upload 6 videos, like, seems a little sussy. So with that being said, I hope you guys appreciate the content. Hope you guys like the content, and don't forget to like and subscribe, obviously, YouTube diff. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the first team builder very soon. And with that, I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys have a good day. See you. Bye.